Now, I said, and I've said for a long time, that I'm happy to get like something Star Wars related every year. I think Obi-Wan is the beginning of me starting to feel Star Wars fatigue, which is kind of scary to say because I love Star Wars. When I say, I think the biggest reason I don't think I'm feeling Star Wars fatigue. I think I'm just kind of tired of seeing the same story being told. In Obi-Wan, it's just you've probably seen it on the internet, stuff like that. It's not really big spoilers, but I am going to keep this as spoiler free as possible. Obi-Wan has to take care of a child, right? This is taking place between episode 3 and episode 4, so he's got to take care of a kid. And all these new Star Wars shows have been doing that. Like Mandalorian does it with Baby Yoda, and then The Bad Batch does it with Omega, and now we're doing it again with Obi-Wan. I'm like, I get it. Old guy who used to be a warrior or who is a soldier now has to figure out how to be a dad. Like, that's... it's like it worked once for them, and now they are doing it over and over and over again. So I definitely want to like see something different. I want to see something. I like seeing the new stuff when it comes to Star Wars. You know what? Even Book of Boba Fett kind of did that. Book of Boba Fett was even doing things of that nature where they were telling people, hey, look at him. He's going to be taking care of people now. And it's like, oh, dude, I want to stop seeing people take care of people. I'm not asking for an edgy, dark Star Wars. I'm not asking for like something in the gray. You can still do the good and the bad, right? The black and the white when it comes to Star Wars, but you don't have to have the same story told every single time. We just don't want the same story. Exactly. Thank you. Like it's one of those things where it's like, move past it. All right. So other than that little gripe, I want to get the bad stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the good. Well, there's probably some more bad things, but we'll talk about some good things. The plot is fine. I like the plot. The plot works. There's a lot of people on the internet saying that there's a bunch of plot holes or there's continuity errors. I'm like, the plot is supposed to fulfill the story that it's telling at the moment in time that it's being told. And if you just finish watching the show, they close up all the loose ends. The issue, though, that I have with this story, the issue that I have with the plot in Obi-Wan is kind of the same thing with the prequels, is where everything's going to go. Now, this one's more of an issue because they're really... Episode 3 tied a really nice, they put a really nice bow on top of the Star Wars trilogy, and episode 3 shows you it kind of goes right into episode 4. Like, no one has any issues. There's no problems. We're ready to go. We're ready to start A New Hope. So it's kind of weird. They're kind of really handicapped themselves when doing the Obi-Wan part because they have to leave off where episode 3 left off, but still get to episode 4. Are we getting more Star Wars movies? Yes, we are. Taika Waititi's making a new film, and he just did Thor: Love and Thunder. And so, I I think it's really, So I think that it was really restricting for them to do that because they whenever they introduce certain characters, you're like, well, I never saw this character in the future, so you're just looking. You can't help but look for the reason why they're not going to be there anymore. Or you can't help but wait and see what their motives will change or what's going to go on. Or, well, there's no, in the trailers we see Inquisitors. Well, there's no Inquisitors by the time there's New Hope. So, when do all the Inquisitors die? Or when do all the Inquisitors get fired or get laid off or go into retirement, right? So, it leaves you just constantly like kind of having that in the back of your head. I don't like that. I want to experience something new. I want to have a new experience. I did, however, like that Obi-Wan was hurting. I liked that Obi-Wan was struggling and he was having to grow. There was character growth. I like seeing Obi-Wan be fleshed out and he actually got to express his emotions, whereas in the prequels he couldn't really do that. There's never a time where you got to sit there and let Obi-Wan express his emotions. One of the most powerful scenes of Obi-Wan is in Clone Wars, the animated series, and that's when he's telling Satine how he feels about her, and people love that scene. People love to learn about Obi-Wan, and a lot of people love Darth Maul because of the connection that he has with Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul almost like emotes for Obi-Wan. So this TV show lets Obi-Wan feel emotions and express himself, and the best moments of the show are, again, when people are just talking to one another. People are expressing their feelings to one another and being humans and kind of not just being emotionless Jedis that are smiling and saying hello to everybody. Now, the show, I think each episode is like 45 minutes. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. About 45 minutes, almost to an hour. And there's a lot of scenes that do drag on. I've seen people on the internet talk about how this could just be a movie, and I honestly kind of agree. There's a lot of moments. The story is very much, it can be condensed. There's a lot of the story that can, I think, could just be filled in 2 hours. Honestly, I would go for a 3-hour special. I like long movies. That's just me in particular. So I don't think it hurts it too much that there was a lot of spacing going on. In my opinion, it allows us to better see things and sequence things. So I don't mind when things have a slow burn to them, matter of speaking. So whenever something is really slow and it's not really just popping off constantly, it gives us a little more time to what's it called? Simmer, to marinate on what the story's trying to tell us. So I never really felt like it was too slow, but I do understand where the internet's coming from in that perspective. The characters, all the side characters, I think are wonderful. The Inquisitors, in my opinion, are great. They're a great part of it. The finale can be a little over the top, but I enjoyed it. I do think that this was worth a watch. I do enjoy it. The issues that I do have with it are kind of what I said in the beginning. I'm tired of seeing the same story being told. I think we could have gone without it being extended as much. The best scenes are when people are talking, not so much even the action scenes. And the choreographed fighting in this show is just hard to keep up with, in my opinion. There are times where it's good and you can see everything and zoomed out and it's great. And then there are times where it's just like, ooh, like, stop. Stop cutting. I'm tired. I've been spoiled too much. I've been spoiled by good choreographing, and now I can't bear to see whenever people do like 7 different cuts for one swing of a lightsaber. It hurts, and I'm exaggerating there, of course. But other than that, I mean, the show looks good. I've also heard people on the internet talk about how the show looks cheap. I didn't feel this when I was watching it. I don't know. I know like it takes place in desert planets and there's not a lot of, I feel like the area around the show expresses kind of what's going on with the characters. Like, we don't need to see these vast tropical things and people have bagged on it for it feeling cheap. I think money went where it needed to go. And I think the areas that we do see are fine, and they serve a purpose to the story. We're supposed to see a transition from the Galactic Republic to the Empire, and they even expressed this in the show. So I'm kind of against the idea that the show felt cheap. What we see is kind of the reason why everything may feel so cheap or so barren is because I think we're supposed to feel that. We're supposed to feel like the Empire stripped the galaxy away from its character. And I genuinely think they even say that. They express that in the show, that the Empire is taking away from everybody. So that's my take. If I were to give it the cast, oh my gosh, Hayden Christensen and Ian McGregor, honestly, you could tell that they love playing these characters, and they have a blast doing it. They have a blast. And it's just so good to see them. Darth Vader makes it onto screen. That's no secret. And this is the first, like, Darth Vader is a force of nature, but this is the first time me seeing Darth Vader, and it felt different. Hayden Christensen is putting his own spin to Darth Vader, and it looks and feels good, and it's something alone is great. This is like one of the best times to see anything Darth Vader content wise. Disney's been doing one thing right, and that's Darth Vader. So anything that has Darth Vader in it, I've been happy so far. But I would like to see something new. I think this was good. I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it. Nothing ever made me cringe, and I was excited for every episode, and I never left any episode upset. Probably not might be a little underwhelming at times. So it was okay. It did what I think it needed to do. 7 out of 10. Give it a score. 7 out of 10.